Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. And in today's video, I'm going to be using two of these shaker cups to make a spinner card. So let me show you how I put the project together. We'll start with the card base, and I'm going to make a 6x6 card. So I have 4 pieces of cardstock which are 6x6, and I'm going to score at 3 inches and do that on all 4 pieces. I'm then going to flip the cardstock over and on the other side add my decorative paper, and each panel is 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. We want to create our aperture into the first panel. I'm going to use a circle die. You can use a circle cutter or what you have. Obviously you need to make sure the aperture is big enough for the shaker cup. This is my shaker cup. I will have a thin frame around the edge, and you can see that that fits easily within the aperture this die is going to create. My shaker cup from edge to edge is approximately 3¼ inches, and my aperture die is 4¼ inches. Position the die into the first panel and cut your aperture. Take your second piece of cardstock, lay the first piece over the top, lock your die into place, and then draw around the inside edge of the die. We're then going to use that pencil ring to help us place our die into the correct position for the next piece of cardstock. Once you've done that on all 4 pieces, you can see that the apertures are all aligned. And one piece of advice I'd give is just make sure the glue is fully dry before you run it through the die cutting machine. Otherwise you will find you have glue seeping out from under the DSP. As final preparation for the base, I've used 2 circle dies. The smaller one is what was used to create the aperture, and I've used those to cut 4 frames which are going to go around the edge of the aperture. Before I start the spinner elements, I've taken 3 of the 4 panels, folded them in half and scored along the score line. And we're now going to join our 3 pieces together. I'm going to add glue to this section and then add 1 panel onto it like so. I'll then add glue onto this section and add on my 3rd panel, and then we'll add the 4th panel once the spinner has been constructed. Take your time to make sure your pieces are aligned. Just burnish that down into place and continue with the next panel. So whilst those pieces are drying, I'm going to get on with creating the spinner. For the element inside the shaker cup, I've stamped and coloured 2 images which are from Paper Craft Society box 37. You want to create 2 of the image, so ideally you'll have an image which is symmetrical so that you can sit them back to back. So you could do some mirror stamping if you so needed, or use something which has symmetry like a snowflake. The pieces will sit in the cup, and you can see that my images are actually slightly too big for the shaker cup. So I'm just going to take some time just to fussy cut around the edge and reduce the white space around the outside of the image. The piece will sit in the cup like so. There will be a frame which will sit around the outside of the shaker cup, and I'm going to use this invisible jewellery thread which has a slight stretch to it, and that's going to run from the top of the card through the cup, through the image, out the bottom side of the cup. I've cut the thread to approximately 9 inches. I'm going to glue my 2 images together, and I'm going to sandwich the invisible thread through the middle. I'm going to try and get that as centrally in the image as possible. Lay the second image on top, so the image will sit in the cup and the thread will run over the top and the bottom. Whilst the image is drying, I've cut myself 2 frames which are going to go on the outside of the shaker cup, so you can see they will fit over the top like so. The inner circle is just under 3 inches and the outer circle is 3 3/8 of an inch. I have run my anti-static bag around the inside of the shaker cup because I will be adding some polystyrene snowballs and some fake snow into here, and I don't want there to be too much static. Once I've laid my Santa image inside, I'm going to just use a piece of red liner tape just to secure the thread onto the shaker cup. I'll remove the backing once I stick the frames in. I'm going to add a ring of red liner tape all the way around the outside of the shaker cup, which will secure the two shaker cups together. I'm going to throw in some polystyrene snowballs and some fake snow. I'm just going to lay the cup on top just so I can see whether I've got enough in there or not. I'm just going to add a few more snowballs. Peel the backing off the red liner tape and add the second cup on top. And I'm just going to burnish those together with my fingers. That's secure. And now I'm going to add red liner tape to the back of the silver frame and add it to the top of the shaker cup. And then I'm going to run tape on top of the second shaker cup and add the second frame on the other side. So there's our shaker spinner element. I'm going to take the last panel, line my thread up, and I'm going to secure it into place at the top and the bottom using hot glue. Once I've got the top in place, I'm going to gently pull on the invisible thread to create some tension. This just helps you get a better spin on the spinner element. Secure the second part of the thread into place and just trim that down to size. So this piece will fit on here like so. I'm going to glue this into place, get this lined up, push this into place, and now I'm going to add the frames. And you want to gently open the pieces to create the crease that you need in the frames. So here's the finished card, and if I release the spinner, you can see that spins around like so. So if we twist that up, that would be the envelope like so, and then as you take it out of the envelope. My key learning point are A, make sure that you do have tension on the thread, because that does help the spin. And secondly, take time to align your apertures. Alternatively, the next time I make the card, the die that I use for the inner part of the ring, I may use a die which is slightly smaller than the size for the aperture. That then takes away any issues you may have with lining up the apertures on all four panels. But overall, I'm happy with how this card has come out. It's quite easy, quick and easy to put together, and it's a really fun and effective card. You can of course make the spinner card and just use a spinning image, not put the image inside the shaker cups. I do feel that the addition of the snowballs and the fake snow does add something. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.